Okay, sixth graders, hey, moving right along, we're on lesson 13.5 now. And in this lesson, it's all about choosing the appropriate measure of center and variability. And why do we do that? Well, because in a data set, the outliers, the gaps, and different clusters in a set of data can affect both the measures of center and the variability of that data. Some measures of center and variability may describe a particular set of data better than others. And it's just basically a way to look at your data and get a more accurate picture of where the data, the value of the data actually lies. So we're on page 733, and we're going to work through a couple examples here. And hopefully, you guys, we're talking, centers, mean, median. Those are the centers that we use to measure center. You got to lock in on really understanding how to get to those, how to build that box plot, how to get the variabilities, the distance from one point to the next. The previous lessons, really everything's building on top of itself now. Let's look at the problem that they give us here on 733. Thomas is writing an article for the school newsletter about a paper airplane competition. In the distance category, Kara's airplane flew, and then there's a set of numbers. And the question it's asking is, should Thomas use the mean, median, or mode to best describe those results? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 numbers there. And the first thing we're going to do is find the mean. So we got 17, 16, 18, 15, and 2. Let's just do it this way. Let's put the numbers up there in order. 2, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now, to find the mean, we add those numbers all together and we divide it by 5. And what that comes out to is this equals 68. We're going to divide that by 5. So our mean is 13.6 feet. All right, so we're 13.6 with our mean. Now, let's find the median. In order to find the median, we go to the center number, and we have an odd number of data points here. So the center number is 16. So our median is 16. Now, going through what they're asking for here, it says the data set has no repeated values, so there's no mode. Remember, mode is the most frequent occurring piece of data. There is no mode. The mean, our mean, 13.6, is less. It's less, it would fall in right here. It's less than 4 of those numbers in the data set. So that's not a good determination of the value of this. And the reason is because we have an outlier. 2 is way to the left of the rest of the number set. Now, 16 falls closer to the middle of the main part of the numbers that have some value in this data set. So you'd be better off using the median to describe how best to find the center of that data. On the next page, 734, we're looking at this in a different way. And in this one, we're going to build a box plot. So we're going to be looking at range and interquartile range to see how best to define the best center for this. Mr. Tobin is buying a book online. He compares prices of the book at several different sites. You can see up there on 734, there's a table. And that's where the results of his information is stored. It says make a box plot of the data, then use the plot to find the range and the interquartile range, which measure would then better describe the data. So write the data in order, and it goes 5, 15, 16, 17. 17, 18, and 35. Okay, so there's our data points in order. Let's find, first of all, let's find the median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means our median is going to be 17. So let's build our line here. And you can see by looking at this, the real clue in knowing whether or not something is going to make sense is to look at the numbers. And you see this 5 over here. This 5 is well below all the rest of the numbers. So it's an outlier again. And because of that, it does what we term in statistics as it skews the data. It gives you a false sense of the value of that data. So anyhow, we find the median at 17. We need to, we're going from 5 to 35, so let's do it like this. Let's go up in twos. So we got 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. Am I going to be able to make it here? 27, 29, 31, 33, 35. Well, we got it all in there. All right, so 17 is our median. So we know that's the point right here. Now, the next step is to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile. And in order to find that, remember again, we're going left and right of the median. And so we've got 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because we've got an odd number, we got to take these two, add them together, divide it by 2. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. All right, so there's the lower quartile. Now, the upper quartile, just the opposite. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers here. So that means we can go to the middle number to find the median of the numbers to the right. Now we can build our box. So there's our box plot. Now, on step 2 here, we're going to look at range. Now our range, remember how we do range? We take the lowest value and the highest value. We subtract. So we've got 35 minus 5. And that is 30. So that's our range. Our interquartile range, the interquartile range is between 5 and 10. Are you with me? 5 and 10. So it's 10 minus 5. So that's 5. And oh, I'm sorry. I did that wrong. I was going to say that just didn't sound right. Our interquartile range is between 10 and 27. So 27 minus 10, that gives us an interquartile range of 17. Now, you see how the interquartile range is pretty much right on where the median is, whereas the range of 30 is much greater. So the interquartile range better describes the data because the range makes it appear that the data values vary way more than they actually do. This is fun stuff. You gotta love it. On page 735 and 736 are some practice problems using these two techniques that we've just outlined. Homework is on 737 and 738. Again, if you're confused about how you find the mean, how you find the median, how you can build the box plot using the medians of those values, then you need to go back and look at an earlier lesson because you really have to be pretty firm on how to do that. So just quickly review. Your mean is the average. You add the numbers all together, divide it by the amount of numbers that you have. The median is that number right in the center. And if it's an odd number, then it's an easy number to find. If it's an even number, you take the 2 in the middle, add them together, divide it by 2. The range is the difference between the lowest point and the highest point. And once you have your median, you can find the median between the numbers that are to the left of the median, and that gives you your lower quartile. Find the median of the numbers to the right of the median, gives you your upper quartile. Make some dots, build a box, and that's how you find your range and interquartile range. get a quartile range. Within that box is the range between the medians of the two quartiles. And if that's got you confused, practice. Work on it. Recheck your vocabulary. Make sure you understand this. And on that note, we'll end this lesson for today. Y'all stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Sixth graders, I'll see you again tomorrow.